Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith. Last time we were just having the most incredible time going around the puzzles in this new rule round, is it these parts? Yeah, difference. The puzzles were really good. I feel like my puzzle solving was on point. And so we're just gonna kind of keep rocking around these parts. So I think I looked at you and I was like, nah, mate. No, this is fine. We can try this. So 9 different, 8 different, 7 different is like really big numbers all around. So I wonder if something like this is like a really big thing. Like, let's just say this was 7, 8, 9. 9 different 7 is 2. 2 difference 9 is 11. But I can't have a separate 11 from that, so how do we get started here? Like, my intuition thinks there's going to be kind of one really big shape and then a small shape for each of these. So 1 and would have to be like 8. But then I can't do 10 and 9 to 1. So maybe the 7s have to have the biggest middle ground piece. But 3 difference 9 would have to be 12. I don't see how that can work. I'm gonna look for a different puzzle that I can actually get a good foundation in so that we can build some momentum. Neighboring regions must have different shapes. So that has to be a 3. Because, well, yeah, because it can't be a 1 and a 1. That's not allowed. It can't be a 2 and a 2. So it has to either be a 3 and a 3, or no, it can't be a 4 and a 4. Because then they wouldn't be different shapes and I can't do that. So that's a 3 and a 3. Which means that's a 3. Which means that's a 3. Then that's a 4, and that's a 4, and that's a 4. And that's a 4, and that's a 4, and that's a 4 with a 1. Alright. And we're off. Range 2, 3. Mingle shape. Difference. Neighboring regions must have different shapes, but everything has to be between 2 and 3. Which means everything has to be a 3, because you can't have... I mean, yeah, you could have a 3 with a 2 in the middle. Okay. So, neighboring regions must have different shapes. So this can't be 2s. Therefore, I think this has to be 3. And this has to be 3. That has to be... That's 3, and that's 2. And that's 3. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. Polyominoes and differences. And nothing else. Well, we start there. Put a box around it. That is going to have to touch that. Which is going to have to be this. Unless those are just ones. And that makes that shape. That's the only other way to do that, I think. But that can't be valid because then that would have to be a 3 of some kind or a 5, and there's no way to get that out. So we can't do this. So we're going to have to do that, I believe, and then this is going to have to be part of a 4. This is a 3 or 5. This has to be part of the 4 because this has to get out. This is either that, which it can't be a difference of 1, or this. Then this has to have a difference of 3, which would make that 4, 3 to 1, which is viable. That would have to come out to there then. This 4 becomes a 2, 6, probably the 2, which leaves that there. If this is a 4, this is a 3, 5. If this is a 3, 5, I hope this is all correct. If this is a 3, 5, then this has to go like that, which means those two are shared. Which means this is a 1, and this has to be a 3 and a 3. This has to be a 2 or a 6. That finishes our 3. This has to be a 4 and a 4, which makes that a 5. This has to be a 1 or a 4, 3, 1 or a 7. I don't think the 7's going to fit. It looks like this is a 3, this is a 2, and this is a 1. Beautiful. I love it when everything just works. Goodness. Okay, well, we can do loads of note-taking here because we can't go under 1. So, this is a 2. This is a 3. This is a 4. This is a 1 or... No, it can't... 1 plus 2 has to be a 3. 1 plus 5 has to be a 6. And 1 plus 4 has to be a 5. So we just have to make all of that fit. Which seems like it should be easy enough. 2, 5, 10, 20, 23. And there's 24 to spare. So there's 1 spare tile somewhere. We can't do 6 on that side because it blocks the 5 in. Easy. That one is the one that my brain couldn't get started on. Sat over there on its own little island. That's a big 6 for the end game. 19 of 24. We're getting through these swiftly. Area numbers and differences. There's 39 here, so all the 22s are part of the same color. This is a 1. 1 plus 2 is a 3. 3 minus 2 has to be a 1 because we have to do that. Because otherwise we go 3 plus 2 is 5, and that would come up to here, which is no good. 1 plus 2 is 3. And 3 plus or minus 2 is 1 over 5. And 1 over 5 is 3 over 7. Because 1 plus 2 is 3. 5 minus 2 is 3. 5 plus 2 is 7. Therefore, this 2 can only get out there. This 3 has to go up. This 22 has to go around the outside to get to at least this and this. That's 18. That's 21. That 2 has to come out. You can take that to be your 22nd. That's 3. That's 2. That's 1. That's 3. And that's 3. No trouble at all. How did I miss these two? I saw that one. No idea. Okay. Let's just start with our clearly excellent working note-taking. 2 plus or minus 1 is 1 over 3. 4 plus or minus 1 is 3 over 5. 5 plus or minus 2 is 3 over 7. 4 plus or minus 2 is 2 over 6. Now, 6 can't go in there. So that has to be 2. And that 2 is going to join that. Put a box around it. This 5 then has to get out. And it can't go to the 4, so that's come down to here. That is a 1, not a 3. 2 minus 1 is 1. This is 5 plus or minus 2 is 3 over 7. Which leaves this 4 having to get out. That line exists. In all likelihood, this is a pair of 3s, because that 4 needs to get to there. This is just a 1 on its own, which makes this a 2. Three plus 1 is 4. What else do we know? This 5 has to get out, which means this 4 has to get out. 4 plus 1 is 5. That just makes sense. That's going to be a 3. That's the 5. 4 plus or minus 2 is 2, and that's 4. It just works. Oh. Minimum 5. Minimum is 5. So you have to come out like this. You can't do that, so you have to come out like that, which means you have to come here. Can't do that. You have to come here. That means this has to come out to at least there. That would make 5 and 3, which would be viable with the 2. Also makes 5 and 3. Oh, except we can't have 3s. They have to be at least 5. So that means that this has to be 5, 6, 7, perhaps? That seems like good intuition, but not yet logic. So let's percolate on that a bit more. Either that or, hypothetically, that could be 7, and that could be 7, and that can go 7, 5, 7, 5. We could actually do this as 7 that way. I'm so prepared for this to all come breaking down. So this is a 5, makes a 7, makes a 5, 7, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't know what I did wrong when I did it the first way round, but I knew what I was trying to get to. Cool. Got the 6. Anything else hiding really, really far off in the corners? All right. Carrying on up the stairs, I suppose. Oh, God. Okay. So, there are 28 tiles here. There's going to have to be one that's one bigger than the other and 2 that are the same. Right? Because this and this have to be the same. This is X and X. And one of these is X and X plus 1. Right? But actually, we could do this better, I think. This is... Let's do... G and G and this is G plus 1 and then this is going to be G or little g. So that's our 3 regions because we have 3 shapes. And those 3 shapes are going to make up G, G, and G plus 1. Those are our 3 things that we have to make. So when we have 28 total, 28 divided by 3 would be 9, 18, 27 plus 1. It's 28. So it looks like we're going to have a 9, a 9, and a 10. Which means this is a 9, this is a 9, and this is a 10. Of course, this could be flipped. It could be that this is the 9 and this is the 10. How much is that? 8, 9, 9. Well, that wasn't too difficult, was it? But the precursor maths certainly helped. A 5? Do I want to do a 5 right now? Range 2 to 4, size separation and difference. So this is going to have to go either 2, 4, 2, 4, 2. But that can't work because this 2 ends up here and neighboring regions must be different sizes. So that can't go there. And we can't do that either. So, off of that, I think we get to 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. Which then has that doing... Neighboring regions must have different areas. Not shapes. Hold on. We can't do any 3s. I feel like I'm fundamentally misunderstanding something here then. It either has to be 2 into 4 into 2 into 4 into 2. All regions have an area between 2 and 4. But I can't do this. I'm perplexed. Like, I can't have a 3 and a 5. That's just not allowed. This is 4. And this is 2 and this is 4, but I can't put 2 4s next to each other. How on earth do I get this corner to work then? Because I can't do 2 and 4 and then have this comply to both things. I'm really baffled. You've baffled me, game. Regions must have an area between 2 and 4. We can't have 3 here, because this would have to be 5. I can't have 3 here, because that can't be a 1. If I did 2... I can't do 2, 2. Does this work? Because now... No, this would have to be 4. But the idea that a shape does something like this. But then that complies with, if I was doing 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, it doesn't matter if these are part of the same shape or not. So I think what is going to have to need to happen then is, if this goes 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, then this is 4, this is 2, this is some kind of 4, this is 2, this is 2, this is 4, this is 2. It took me taking a 4 around a corner to see the line, but we got there. We have now silvered our window, which now opens up even more puzzles earlier in the zone before we even get to the back half of stuff. What are you? A 7. Oh. It's a spade. Alright, well, we're not going to that right now. We're going to come right back to the front here. See what we're working with. This feels like this, where there's just kind of a few nubs to make sense of when the difference is exact. So we have X and X and X plus or minus 1. This has to be 2 bigger or smaller than this, but this can't be a 3 to go 2 down to 1, because that can't exist there like that, which is an interesting observation. So you'd have to go... You can't be 3 minus 1 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. Doesn't work. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 1. 1 is 1. And that breaks down here, but I could do that. 1, 2, 1. 1? No. No. So all of that was happy, but it broke down here. 1, 2, 1. This guy is just not having it at all. Because I can't do 4 and 3. That's never going to happen. So for a 2 to exist, one of these has to be a minimum of 3. Because 3 minus 2 is 1, or 1 plus 2 is 3. It could be a 4, but as we've just kind of percolated on, at least this 4 doesn't work. This can't extend to here, because we can't do 1 and 1. Two doesn't seem to work either. Just getting any one number locked in would do a world of good. Well, we could... I don't really love this approach, but we could start here with singles, and then if we can't bring that all the way around, we would know that it would have to be this and either that or that as 2s. So 1 equals 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2, doesn't go. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 would be 4, doesn't go. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. But we've already decided it doesn't like 4. Because 4 minus 1 is 3. Or 5. So, I don't think that goes well. Which would leave us with some version of this. 2 plus 1 is 3. Can't go. Goes down to 1. 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1. And then this has to become the 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Yeah, I don't love how I solved that. Just starting with the 0 as having not being 1s, then trying the 2s, but we solved it. Mismatch difference. Where would you begin? (1717) is not going to be it, because 17 minus 4 can't be 17 minus 3. If this were 3, this would have to be 6. And that leaves that there. So this is not 3. It could be all regions must have different shapes. Okay. That tells us something very important now that I've internalized it, which I should really learn to do earlier in the levels. But all regions must have different shapes. That means this can't be 3 and 3, which means one of them is 3 and one of them is 2 and 1. And we just decided this can't be 3 because that would have to be 6 and leave that wrong. So this is 3. which means this is 2 and 1. And that can't be the 2. Because 2 and 3 is 5, which blocks that off. So that's the 2, that's the 1. 1 and 3 is 4. 2 and 4 is 6. So this is a 6, this is a 6, this is a 6, this is a 6, which means that is a 6, and that is a 6. 3 and 3, this is a 6, a 6, a 6, a 6, a 6, and a 6. And 0 and 6 is a 6 and a 6. There's a lot of 6s going on. This is a 4 and a 4. This is a 6. Now, all of these 6s are going to have different shapes, which is curious. So that's our curled C. This can either be that or that for like a big T. If that makes a big T and that's a 4 and that's a 3. Yeah, I was just like, this can be a 5. That's a totally valid 5. That was a fun one. What about you? I wonder if I just let my brain stop there. Oh god, it's ones with big parallel lines. It's like my arch nemesis in this game. Yeah, I'm gonna let my brain percolate there for a while. Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you ever so much for joining me on this little journey that I'm having so much fun with. I hope you're having fun with it too. Hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.